dirty things in one's mind immediately vanish. Generally, we are reluctant to hear about the activities of the Lord, but Krishna's childhood activities are so attractive that they are automatically pleasing to the mind and ear. Thus, one's attachment for hearing about material things, which is the root cause of material existence, vanishes, and one gradually develops devotional service to the Supreme Lord, attachment for Him, and friendship with devotees who give us the contribution of Krishna consciousness. If you think it fit, kindly speak about those activities of the Lord.
Please describe other pastimes of Krishna, the Supreme Personality, who appeared on this planet Earth, imitating a human child and performing wonderful activities like killing Putana.
Shukadeva Goswami said, when Mother Yashoda's baby was slanting his body to attempt to rise and turn around, this attempt was observed by a Vedic ceremony. In such a ceremony called Uttana, which is performed when a child is due to leave the house for the first time, the child is properly bathed. Just after Krishna turned 3 months old, Mother Yashoda celebrated this ceremony with other women of the neighborhood. On that day, there was a conjunction of the moon with the constellation Rohini. As the Brahmanas joined by chanting Vedic hymns and professional musicians also took part, this great ceremony was observed by Mother Yashoda.
After completing the bathing ceremony for the child, Mother Yashoda received the Brahmans by worshipping them with proper respect and giving them ample food, grains and other eatables, clothing desirable cows and garlands. The Brahmanas properly chanted Vedic hymns to observe the auspicious ceremony, and when they finished and Mother Yashoda saw that the child felt sleepy, she lay down on the bed with the child until he was peacefully asleep.
The liberal Mother Yashoda, absorbed in celebrating the Uttana ceremony, was busy receiving guests, worshipping them with all respect and offering them clothing, cows, garlands, and grains. Thus she could not hear the child crying for his mother. At that time, the child Krishna, demanding to drink the milk of his mother's breast, angrily threw his legs upward.
Lord Shri Krishna was laying down underneath the handcart in one corner of the courtyard, and although his little legs were as soft as leaves, when he struck the cart with his legs, it turned over violently and collapsed, and the wheels separated from the axle, and the hubs and spokes fell apart, and the pole of the handcart broke. On the cart there were many little utensils made of various metals, and all of them scattered hither and thither.
When Mother Yashoda and the other ladies who had assembled for the Uttana festival, and all the men headed by Manda Maharaja saw the wonderful situation, they began and wonder how the handcart had collapsed by it itself. They began to wander here and there, trying to find the cause, but were unable to do so.
Text 9. The assembled cowherd men and ladies began to contemplate how this thing had happened. Is it the work of some devil or evil planet? They asked. At that time, small children present asserted that the cart had been kicked apart by the baby Krishna. As soon as the crying baby had kicked the cart's wheel, the cart had collapsed. There was no doubt about it.
Okay, so we are discussing the verse number 9.
We're not reading till 10, 1 to
Uchur avyavasita matin. Gopan gopishcha balaka. Rudatanena padena. Shiptam etanna samshaya.
Uchur avyavista matin.
Uchur avyavasita matin.
Gopan gopishcha balakaha.
Gopan gopishcha balaka.
Rudatanena padena.
Rudatanena padena.
Last line.
Kasitam etanna shitam etanna samashaya.
Shiptam etanna samshaya.
Uchuravya matin.
Uchuravyavista matin.
Gopan gopishcha balaka.
Gopan gopishcha balaka.
Rudatana padena.
Rudatanena padena.
Shiptametana samshayah.
Shiptametana samshaya.
Uchuravyavishtamatin.
Uchuravyavista matin.
Gopan gopishcha balaka.
Gopan gopishcha balaka.
Rudatanena padena.
Rudatanena padena. Shiptametana samshaya.
Word to word, all together please. Uchu said, Avyavasita Matin, who had lost all intelligence in the present situation. Gopan to the cowherd man, Gopicha and to the ladies. Balaka, the children. Rudatanena, as soon as the child cried. Padena, with one leg. Shiptam eta, this cart was dashed apart and immediately fell dismantled. Na samshaya, there is no doubt about it. Translation all together, please. The assembled cowherd man and ladies began to contemplate how things had happened. Is it the work of our evil planet? They asked. At that time, the small children present asserted that the cart had been kicked apart by the baby Krishna. As soon as the crying baby had kicked the cart's wheel, the cart had collapsed. There was no doubt about it. Who would like to read purport? Half.
We have heard of people being haunted by ghosts, having no gross material body. A ghost seeks shelter of a gross body to stay in and haunt. The Saktasura was a ghost who had taken shelter of the handcut, and was looking for the opportunity to do mischief to Krishna. When Krishna kicked the cart with his small and very delicate legs, the ghost was immediately pushed down to the earth and his shelter dismantled. As already described, this was possible for Krishna because he has full potency as confirmed in Dhamma Samhita 532.
Angani yasya sakalandriya vrittimanti Pashyante panti pariyanti shirandakanti Ananda chinmaya sadhuswara vigrahasya Govinda padi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Krishna's body is Satchidananda Vigraha or Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. That is, any of the part of his Ananda Chinmaya body can act for any other part. Such are the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord does not need to acquire these potencies. He already has them. Thus Krishna kicked his little legs and his whole purpose was fulfilled. Also, when the handcart broke, an ordinary child could have been injured in many ways. But because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he enjoyed the dismantling of the cart, and nothing injured him. Everything done by him is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, full transcendental bliss. Thus Krishna factually enjoyed. The nearby children saw that actually Krishna had kicked the wheel of cart, and this was how the accident happened. By the arrangement of Yogamaya, all the gopis and gopas thought that the accident had taken place because of some bad planet or some ghost. But in fact, everything was done by Krishna and enjoyed by him. Those who enjoy the activities of Krishna are also on the platform of Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. They are liberated from the material platform. When one develops the practice of hearing Krishna Katha, he is certainly transcendental to material existence, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Sargunan Samatityetan Brahmabhuyaya Kalpate. Unless one is on the spiritual platform, one cannot enjoy the transcendental activities of Krishna, or in other words, whoever engages in hearing the transcendental activities of Krishna is not on the material platform, but on the transcendental spiritual platform.
Ja. So on the today's verse, we discuss about how the whole Shaktasur Leela, like it is also known as Shakata Bhanjan Leela, happened, and it is mentioned. Just a minute.
Nice wallpaper.
I would do duplicate. Yeah. Duplicate. So in the Shakata Bhanjan Leela, it is mentioned the two times that on the day of Utthana ceremony, this whole Leela took place, and it is mentioned that Utthana means to rise and to like wake up. So it is also known as when this Leela happened. This Leela happened actually at the end of the Chaturmas, because at the end of Chaturmas is called Utthana Ekadashi. So on that day, the whole Leela happened, and it is mentioned that on the day of whole Chaturmas, Lord Vishnu sleeps on his abode, that is Ananda Shesh. So on that Ananda Shesh, when he sleeps and wakes up, it is also known as Utthana Ekadashi, and it happened on that day. And also it is mentioned that, and after it is just few days back, the whole Kartik Vrat happened, and we all followed some vows and we stick to that, and it was very nice that everyone was sticking and was doing bhakti on some for that month, whole month. And after that month, now this month is also known as Keshav Mas. So after that, it is also known as Damodar Mas, and now this month is also known as Keshav Mas. So Keshav Mas, in Keshav Mas, when we finished our vows, when we finished our Kartik Vrat, Gopis started their Vrat, which is known as Katyayani Vrat. So when all the devotees stop their Vrat, Gopis start their another Vrat for 1 month, and for that month they did austerities. They had only Havishya Prasadam. It means just like boiled rice, sweet potatoes without spices for the whole month, and they used to worship Yamuna Devi, and used to wake up early in the morning and used to worship goddess Katyayani so that they get Krishna as their husband. And whole Leela happened, and then this month is very auspicious because in this month Gopis used to pray to Katyayani to get Krishna. In the same way, today also we mentioned the whole Leela happened, but first, in the first the verses number 1 to 5, how Parikshit Maharaj was so much blissful that after just hearing the first pastime of Putna, he was so happy, and he asked Shukdev Goswami, "Can you please mention more pastimes like this?" Because he was getting so happy that wow, how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, became a son of Yashoda and did such pastimes. And these pastimes happened in Gokula, not Vrindavan. So when Krishna was just came from Mathura, he first went to Gokula, and then after that Nand Maharaj and everyone, they shifted to Vrindavan. And in this pastime, it is mentioned that how Shukdev Goswami was very happy that wow, just by hearing the first part of the Leela, the Putna Leela, how he became happy. So he was asking, "Can you tell me more pastimes like this?" So it is mentioned that Krishna Katha is the nectar of all the in this world. Like that's the topmost one. And Srimad Bhagavatam is known as the cream of all the Vedic scriptures, and you can mention that. And it is mentioned that one who hears Krishna Katha, is considered to be one of the topmost fortunate person in this universe or anywhere. So, but we can make a chart. If we make a chart, we can say like how, like for example, if I give you uh, just a small example, that there is a, we are in not Kali Yuga, we are in Dwapar Yuga, and we are living in a village, and if we want to notice, and there is it's a kingdom, okay, there is a palace and everything. So if we want to say that, yeah, who is the most fortunate person in this kingdom, so who would be?
Okay.
Yeah. So it mentioned that like, yeah, the whole kingdom is uh, whole under by king. He's ruling the whole kingdom. He has his wives, queens, his children. He has whole army. He's taking care of uh, all the inhabitants, and he has everything. He has all the wealth, supplies, and all the weapons also, and it doesn't have to be take care of. But it is mentioned that one king is if we one king is fortunate for one kingdom. So if you count like 100 kings, the opulence and happiness and fortune of 100 kings is equal to one Indra. If you this is like a, it's like an example, like 100 kings fortune is equal to one Indra. And when you mention and Indra it is mentioned in Mahabharata also. We discussed, me and Om Prabhu and Vatsal Prabhu, we were discussing that the whole Kurukshetra Leela, and we can say like it was Indraprasth, that how it was so uh, blissful and so much opulent. And because of the Indra is known as like all the kingdoms, and in the heavenly planets he is known as the king of heaven. So opulence of 100 kings, if you count on the fortune, is equal to one Indra. And one Indra's and 100 Indra's fortune, if you calculate, then it equals to the Brahma. Brahma is known as the creator of whole universe. If you go till the Patal Lok, from the hellish planets till the all the topmost planet of Brahma Loka, he is ruling. He is creating all the, taking care of all the living entities, and he knows the Vedas also, and all, if you can count the whole lineage, and that we are also in the Brahma sampradaya. So it is mentioned that the, if you just calculate and the fortune of all the 100 Indras, it equals to one Brahma. And can you guess of, if you calculate 100 for Brahma's fortune, who will be?
Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the Param Vaishnava, and Lord, if you seen that the whole chart, like how Lord Brahma, and above that there is a Shiv Loka, and there Lord Shiva does the austerities and always uh, in meditation, and takes care of the. He is also known as like the god of destroyer. Like he takes care of the all the destruction at the end of the this world, and he is like Param Vaishnava. And when he takes care of, and he gets, and it is known as like, if you calculate 100 Brahma's fortune is equal to one Shiva. And if we calculate like for example 100 Shiva's fortune, who would it be?
Yeah.
Krishna? It's a devotee.
Just yeah,
No, not Prahlad.
Vishnu Bhakta.
Oh.
It is mentioned that what we have seen so many pastimes, that whenever Lord Shiva goes, he also distributes love for Krishna. Like if you will see in like Gopesh, in Vrindavan there is a temple called Gopeshwar Mahadev. Yeah, and it's mentioned that he takes care of all the like he is like the gatekeeper of Vrindavan. If you want to pass there, you have to take blessings of him. And it is mentioned that he gives blessings openly. He doesn't care if you are a demon, if you are a non-devotee, he will give blessings and he will enter you. So it is mentioned. And Vishnu Bhakta is known as, he doesn't need any kind of liberation, any kind of opulence. He wants just prema bhakti, and he just wants to serve Krishna or Vishnu. And if you calculate 100 Vishnu Bhaktas fortune, who would be?
Gopi.
It is known as, if you calculate 100 Vishnu's Bhakta's fortune, it will be calculated as one year of Krishna Katha. Because Krishna Katha, just by hearing, you will get purified. And it is mentioned that in this example is Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami. So Shukdev Goswami himself narrated the whole Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj in 7 days. And Parikshit Maharaj, at the end of his life, he was looking for the what is the main goal of this life, and is to serve devotional service to Krishna. That was the main essence of the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is and he when he was relishing the Srimad Bhagavatam, which we just read, like for first 5 verses, he was relishing. He was asking like, can you please tell me more pastimes like this? And Parikshit Maharaj was so happy by just hearing the first pastime. And one hearer of Krishna Katha is equal to like fortune of one hearer of Krishna Katha is equal to fortune of 100 Vishnu Bhaktas. So 100 hearers of Krishna Katha is equal to one speaker of Krishna Katha. And when you mentioned that it's Shukdev Goswami, when he narrated the whole pastime, he was also in ecstasy. Sometimes, if you have noticed in Srimad Bhagavatam that once I used to ask the speaker like, Prabhu, why Shukdev Goswami jumped all the pastimes? They were saying that he was so in bliss and he was so in ecstasy that he was not even caring like which pastime he has to say next. He was just in ecstasy and he was going to the flow. And if you have noticed some chapters like the gopis separation from Krishna, the Damodar Leela and every pastimes, they have like 70 to 60 verses in that chapters. Like he was not even caring like just like 3 days are left for Parikshit Maharaj's life, and he was just reciting the whole pastimes like this. And it is mentioned that Srila Prabhupada also, when he came to, he was also relishing all these pastimes. And you can mention that he came to the West and he gave this all knowledge. And because he had this fortune and he has this nectar, he was relishing himself. So he distributed this to everyone. He was not caring like who is Indian, who is American, Western body. No, he was not caring at all. He thought like this should be given to at every town and village. And can anyone guess now, like what would be the fortune of 100 speakers of Krishna Katha? Who is the supreme of all? That is he or she. I can say he and she. They can relish that nectar. One correct. Another one. So that person is Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani, when she used to discuss the pastimes with her friends, gopis, they used to, and so bliss that they used to imitate the pastimes of Krishna, and they the whole day they used to spend like just like discussing the past, and they used to absorb in the thoughts. And similarly, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also in the same way, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and when he came, he was also discussing the pastimes and discussing all that with his associates, and he was also relishing that nectar. And why Krishna Katha is so glorious, and why we should glorify the Krishna Katha, because just by simply doing Krishna Katha, we get the benefit of doing first three devotional service out of 9 devotional service, which is Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam. When you, like for example, you guys are here, like how I mentioned that Parikshit Maharaj was hearing the Krishna Katha, so he was getting that nectar and he was relishing that whole Katha. In the same way, when Shukdev Goswami was narrating the whole pastimes and all the Srimad Bhagavatam, he was also relishing. So by just hearing and chanting also you can get this nectar. And also by just remembering, like how I mentioned that gopis, they used to in so bliss that they used to just discuss with them whenever they get a chance. They used to just discuss the past, and oh yeah, yesterday Krishna stole butter from that gopi's house. Yeah, today Krishna killed that Aghasur demon. Today Krishna was playing with his childhood gopas, and today he's playing with Mother Yashoda, and he was eating mud today. So they were just discussing this past, and this was like whole day for them. And it is, and not only the gopis, not only them, and just the author of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasdev, he was also, when he came, when he was not satisfied after reading all the Mahabharata, Mahabharata, all the Vedas, scriptures. He was not satisfied at all. So he asked his spiritual master, Narad Muni, that what should he do? Then Narad Muni said something. What's it, Prabhu? Can you please read?
Sri Narada said, "You have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. The philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. Although great sage, you have very broadly described the four principles beginning with religious performance. You have not described the glories of the Supreme Personality Vasudeva."
So in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is known as creation, when Vyasadeva was so bewildered that what should he do, he was not satisfied at all after writing so many scriptures. Then he asked Narad Muni. Then Narad Muni said that you have written everything, but you haven't written the essence, the cream, the main part of the um, scriptures and all the Vedas. That is pastimes and glories of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he started the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. And also mentioned, this is in the first canto, and I will directly jump to the 10th canto. In 10th canto, when Shukdev Goswami was mentioning the pastimes of gopis, he was also saying that gopis used to, just I mentioned earlier, that gopis like heart, mind, body, they used to just discuss Krishna Katha, and they, because in the daytime they used to do household chores. They were not allowed to meet Krishna in the daytime. In the daytime, Krishna was busy in his pastimes, and he was herding his cows. He was playing with his friends, and he was just stealing butter from other gopis' place. But at that time, gopis were not able to meet him, and because of that, they were just relishing this just by hearing and chanting this leelas. Himanshu, can you please read?
Sukadeva Goswami said, "Whenever Krishna went to the forest, the minds of the gopis would run after him, and thus the young girls sadly spent their days singing of his pastimes." Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, "O king, thus during the daytime the women of Vrindavan took pleasure in continuously singing about the pastimes of Krishna, and those ladies, minds and hearts absorbed in him, were filled with great festivity."
So you might have noticed something very similar thing, that in the first, this is the 10th canto, chapter 35. The first verse is in Shukdev Goswami is saying that gopis used to spend their day singing of his pastimes. In the last verse of the same chapter, he is saying that, "O king, thus the daytime of women of Vrindavan took pleasure in continuously singing over the pastimes of Krishna." He was saying the same thing first and last verse, that he knew that, yeah, this is the only thing that they are relishing the nectar. And you will see the picture that how they are, when they felt separation from Krishna after the Ras Leela, when Krishna disappeared, they were in ecstasy and in separation that they were imitating the pastimes of Krishna. Like you can see that how she's playing the pastimes of crawling, how they are doing the Kalya Damalila, and how she's playing with gopis like that. And not only in Krishna Lila, in Gaur Lila also, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates used to dance in bliss, in ecstasy, in Jagannath Rath Yatra, they were not even carrying like what is how they will feel tired. And after taking some rest, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the garden, Maharaj Pratap Rudra, he wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sannyasi, so he was not allowing any worthy man to meet him. So Maharaj Pratap Rudra, he disguised himself in the form of a devotee, and he was massaging Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's legs. And at that time, he started reciting some verses, and one of that verses was, all together please, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavivireditam kalmashapanam श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णाति ये भूरिदा जना.
The nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are the most munificent.
So after just hearing this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became so blissful that he started crying and he was saying that please recite this verse again and again, because he was relishing this verse, and he said that I don't have anything to give you. He started embracing Maharaj Brother Rudra just for discussing this verse and just reciting this verse, because it talks about like the nectar of your words and descriptions of your activities of Krishna are like life and soul of those suffering this material world. And these narrations are by learned sages because they used to relish these verses. Because this is one of the verses from Gopi Gil, and I just mentioned so many examples and so many like glories of Krishna Katha, but if I started speaking like that, because I'm not qualified, but still, uh, I thought like why should I be so discuss so much glories, because I am not able to taste that nectar yet because I am not that much qualified. But I saw one verse because I was reading a book called Govinda Lilamrita, where I saw one verse by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and he mentioned one verse that gave me some hope that yeah, I can also just give it a try, just to satisfy for the pleasure of Shri Radha Kirshor Gopinath. I can do this. So that verse was, won't I be the cause of great laughter for Vaishnavas who always play in the nectar ocean of Shri Krishna's pastimes? But even though I am incompetent, mediocre, less intelligent, and unqualified, I desire to taste that nectar. So in that way, I am also praying that in the same mood of Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, that I also want to taste this nectar, even though I am not that much. Because we say like we are in the form of humility. We mention sometimes, yeah, we are unqualified. We can't do this. But still, this verse gave me that. Yeah, I want to. I have that desire to taste this nectar. Yeah. So now we will discuss over the whole Shaktasu Leela. So on that day, once upon a time, when Krishna turned 3 months old, Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj arranged a ritualistic ceremony, and when they mentioned that, I mentioned that it was a Uthana Ekadashi, and Uthana ceremony. Sorry. So in that ceremony, they gather and they made a whole festival of that. And because Krishna was after the Putna Vad, Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj, they were little afraid that what will happen to Krishna, because he's a kid and he was attacked by a demon. So he said that, yeah, what should I do? So they did a ritual ceremony for the protection of Krishna from the demon. Actually, Putna needed that protection, but they are doing that yagya for Krishna instead of Putna. And the whole lila happened. And then when they were doing that the ceremony, it is mentioned that Mother Yashoda used to tie a nail of a tiger to Krishna. If you might have seen sometimes that Krishna is wearing a nail of a tiger. Actually, that's also for our protection, because it is mentioned that if you wear a nail of a tiger, animals, demons, they're scared of tigers' teeth, nail, yeah. So that's why she used to give like a locket to Krishna so that he can wear for protection. And in that pastime, then all the learned brahmanas were invited and they chanted like Vedic hymns for the good fortune of Krishna. And it is mentioned that that in Krishna's pastimes we were mentioned that so many times that these first parts of the Krishna Lila, like Putnavat, Trinavat, Shaktasur, in the first parts, and the mode was about most of the Vatsalya ras. And in today's time, if you want to see Krishna served in the mode of Vatsalya ras, we can say one of the main temple is Radharaman temple in Vrindavan. I once watched a documentary. It is mentioned that they say that we don't call Krishna by his name. We call him Thakurji, and they say that we serve Krishna more than 6 times. They offer bhoga to Krishna more than 6 times in a day, and because of that, they say that Krishna might get his. If you have seen the picture of Radharaman, I don't have it here, but if you have seen that picture, Radharaman is not holding his flute. So one of the pujaris said that the reason is that we give him so many times bhoga. So why we have to remove again and again? Because Krishna might get tired just for holding flute and booting flute. So they remove the flute so that he can just have that bhoga. So he doesn't. So they remove the flute. Because of that, they had so much rasa of Vatsalya bhav that they removed the flute. Also they were taking care of Krishna like that. And even Mother Yashoda also, just like in Radharama temple, the pujaris call him Thakurji. All the devotees also call him Thakurji. In this lila, Yashoda Maya, you might have seen like he sometimes call him Lala. He calls him like Kanhaiya, Kanha. In the same way, uh, they were also taking care of Krishna like as a baby form. In the same way, we can see in Radharam temple also. And so, because Krishna was falling asleep, then after hearing the Vedic hymns, Krishna, Mother Yashoda thought like, oh, he wants to sleep, so where should I keep him? So she thought like, yeah. She very silently then she took it under a hand-driven cart. There was a cart nearby, so she thought like it's very hot weather and it was like direct sunlight, so Krishna might not be able to sleep. So she thought, yeah, I will just put him on under the hand cart. Yeah. So in that way, she kept him under the cart, and Krishna became angry because of that. And because Krishna was, and he started crying also because her mother was not paying this attention. I just we might have got this like deja vu because we just mentioned like narrated this pastimes from Damodar. Like in Damodar also, when Krishna was so hungry that he wanted milk of his mother, but Mother Yashoda wanted to take care of the boiling milk. So she just kept Krishna and she went to the mother to put that boiling milk down. In the same way here also, and Krishna was feeling sleeping that she kept him under the hand-driven cart. But she didn't know that Krishna is getting angry, and he was so hungry that he became so mad that her mother is not giving his attention. So what happened is the demon named Shaktasur, he was watching the whole ceremony, and when he got a chance that the Krishna is now alone and there is no one near him, so he just went inside the hand-driven cart. And when he went in that hand-driven cart, when Krishna saw his face, so just like an ordinary child, he lifted his legs and he began to kick his lotus feet. Actually, when Krishna saw the face from the hand-driven cart, because Shaktasur came in the form of a ghost, he didn't came in the form of a demon.
Means card. Shaktasur.
Yeah,
Card.
yeah. The word name Shakat, it means cart. So the whole Shaktasur when he came, so he mentioned that he didn't saw his original form, so he just saw his face. And when Krishna saw his face, so Krishna he just like an infant baby. We just said that like how can understand the pastimes of Krishna in the form of an infant? Like he's the supreme personality of God, and then still he's crying and he's getting angry because his mother is not paying him attention. The same way here also, that when Krishna was he was getting afraid by just seeing the face of a demon. So just to play and just to remove him, he started kicking the legs. And you might be thinking like, Krishna is small baby, and how his leg went to till the floor, the wood of the hand-driven cart. So it is mentioned that because of Shaktasur, that hand-driven cart became little bit heavy, and he went little bit under the ground. That's why Krishna was able to kick him, and just by his one touch of his lotus feet, the whole cart collapsed. And after seeing that, the wheel of the cart separated from the axle and the spokes were broken and it scattered hither and thither. Like Prabhupada mentioned use this word very times, like hither and thither. Like hither means this wheel went this side, this wheel went this side. And after seeing the whole destruction, everyone became so scared that what happened. Then they just saw that Krishna is sitting there and the whole cart just destroyed. So Mother Yashoda and Nand Maharaj, as well as cowherd men and women, here it is mentioned the Gopa, Gopis, Balaka, they also went there, were astonished as like how that cart could have collapsed. In the same way I mentioned the Damodar Lila. In Damodar Lila, when Krishna went there and when he broke the two twin trees, Yamala Arjun trees, there was a destruction, and there were like two Gopas was watching the whole Lila, and they mentioned Nand Maharaj there. Nand Maharaj, when Yamala Arjun trees fell down, two devatas came and they were praying to Krishna. They were saying reciting some verses, and then they left. In the same way, after the whole destruction of the cart, he also mentioned there was one Gopa, and he also said that I saw that there was a Krishna just by kicking that cart, he broke the whole cart, And the whole and then Maharaj and Yashoda Maya, they gave the same explanation. He's a small boy. How can he do this? Something would have happened. Now we have to do another yajna for this. So in the same way, but you have might mention that if you have seen the first line, the wheel of the cart separated from the axle, and the spokes were broken and it scattered hither and thither. So this is I just copied and pasted from the Srimad Bhagavatam purports and the translation, and I also used some Krishna book also from here, because in Krishna book also there is a whole chapter of the deliverance of Trinavarth, and Acharyas, like just in Damodar Lila how Hari Suri mentioned the whole inner meaning of the whole pastimes, like the main reason of Damodar Lila was to uh, play with Yashoda Maya also, and to deliver Nalkumara and Hayagriva. Manigriva. Yeah, Manigriva. So he wants to deliver them also, and he wants to play with Mother Yashoda also. In the same way, in this lila also, Krishna wanted his mother's attention and love also, and he also wanted to deliver Shaktasur. So Acharyas go deep in this, like why Shaktasur cart collapsed and why it was heavy, why the wheels went hither and thither. So Acharyas mentioned very nicely, like the cart. Cart is an symbol of a gross material body, and the wheels resembles the cycle of birth and death, and the weight on that, I mentioned that it became heavy and it went down, so it resembles our karma and our material attachments, and the demon's possession, because demon Shaktasur went inside the cart, so it is known as our false ego and ignorance. So when our material body gets, we will is in the entanglement of cycle of birth and death, and when it becomes overpowered by our karmas and material attachments with false ego and ignorance, we also become like that, and to deliver us we have to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, because it's our only means of deliverance.
In some cases, it is like locomotives, like cars, motors.
Yes.
Also in the
Yes.
same case.
And so in the same way, we have to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, because it's our only protector and means of deliverance. Like how Krishna, just by touching his lotus feet to the cart, the whole cart collapsed. But in the same way, Shaktasur got delivered also. In the same way, when you mentioned the Kalya Daman Lila also, when Krishna danced on the top of Kalya's head, he also when they got scared and whole Lila ended, wives of Kalya asked them like, Krishna, how can we leave from here? Because if we leave from here, Garuda will kill us. Then Krishna said that I have kept my marks of my lotus feet on the top of Kalya. So when Garuda will see these marks, he will not kill you. So don't worry, because it will protect you. The same way here also, how Krishna's just by touching the lotus feet, the Shaktasur got delivered by that. And so I'll just pause from that whole thing, and I will just mention one verse, one thought from a quote from the Prabhupada, and then we can end today's discussion. Mr. Shuru, can you read this?
The entire world is suffering because of spiritual thirst. Every living being is Brahman, or spiritual soul, and needs spiritual food to satisfy his hunger and thirst. Unfortunately, however, the world is completely unaware of the nectar of Krishna Katha. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore a boon to philosophers, religionists, and people in general. There is certainly a charming attraction in Krishna and Krishna Katha. Therefore, the absolute truth is called Krishna, the most attractive.
Jai. So I would like to pause, and I would like to just say that whole Shakta Bhajan Lila, it teaches us a lesson also, and it is also like a pastime which we can relish the nectar. But we have to see how that just by these Leelas, Shukdev Goswami was giving the nectar of the pastimes also, and he was giving the inner meanings also, how just by taking the shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, we can be delivered, we can be protected. So I would just like to say thank you, and if you guys like anything from today's discussion, it belongs to my Gurujanas, my Prabhupada, Krishna, and if you found anything bad or anything wrong, it belongs to me. Thank you very much. Anything, any realization or question?
So I like the class that you gave. Like you always come up with presentations, which is like preparing and giving your time in Krishna Katha. So that was nice. And the thing I liked is I read this pastime Satavrata. So, but when I read, I was not feeling that much. But when you explained, because you went deep into that, so I felt like connected a little bit. So thank you.
Actually, the whole pastime is mentioned in 3 verses. The name of the chapter is "The Killing of the Demon Trinavarta." But Prabhupada is so merciful that he gave the whole chapter in Krishna book, so I was able to take something.
I like to see the presentation. Everything is arranged, so easy to see.
Thank you.
When you were mentioning about 100 kings is one Indra and that entire thing, and when that entire spiel ended, I thought your class is done. I was already thinking this is the most favorite class of mine, and then but there was so much more to come, and these photographs of Mahaprabhu that you put in there, I don't know where did you find them, because I never found these
I have
beautiful
the same,
photographs.
like after the class I was gonna ask him, give me the photos.
You have to tell me, how do you locate such photographs? But thank you so much. You're just brilliant.
Thank you.
I have one question. So, there 100 Shiva is one Vishnu Bhakta,
Yeah.
but Lord Shiva is itself a Vishnu Bhakta.
Yeah.
How do we see that?
But in the sense, we are mentioning him as who is the destructor of the whole universe and who is taking care of the material world, and he is meditating on Lord Vishnu in the same manner. Like we are seeing Lord Shiva as Lord Shiva's position, not like fortune of Lord Shiva, not like a Vishnu Bhakta.
How
Like
much
duties-
fortune does it take to get that kind of position? Like, it's not that, like, for example, our Brahma is, in the time we're in, he's a devotee of Krishna. So how is, him, hundreds of him equal to one Shiva? So we're talking about the position. How much fortune does it take to acquire the position of a Brahma?
Yeah. Actually,
If
there
you
are.
acquire 100 times of that fortune, you get the position of Lord Shiva. The position he's in, not the person Lord Shiva. And the fortune it takes to acquire that position of Lord Shiva, 100 times that fortune you need to acquire the position of a Vishnu Bhakta.
Yeah, because actually we don't have 100 Shivas. That's
Yeah,
right. It's like this position, like how much fortune of one position is equal to 100, like that. Anything else? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki